A jarring ring shattered the stillness of the night. Tom's hand groped blindly in the dark, reaching for the intrusive noise. His fingers closed around the cold, vibrating device and he squinted at the screen. A number from the emergency response unit. Heart pounding, he answered. Tom here. Tom, we need you at the East Side construction site. A voice crackled over the line. A crew was digging, and they found some kind of tunnel system. They're trapped. Instantly, Tom was awake. The sleepy haze replaced by a surge of adrenaline. He had handled countless rescue missions throughout his career, but this felt different. It was too eerily similar to the incident years ago, the one that had claimed his younger brother's life. Shaking off the morbid thoughts, he responded, I'm on my way. At the site, the chaos was palpable. The once routine construction site had morphed into a rescue operation hub, emergency lights casting an eerie glow on the frantic faces of the workers. Tom was handed a rough map of the tunnels the construction workers had managed to sketch before they got trapped. With the map in one hand and a gear bag slung over his shoulder, Tom made his way towards the yawning mouth of the tunnels. He turned to face his team, brave men and women who had chosen to face danger for the sake of others. Stay close, stay quiet, and keep your radios on. As they began their descent into the labyrinth, the chilling call of the unknown echoed back at them, and the world as they knew it was left behind. Descending into the belly of the underground labyrinth was like stepping into another world, one of profound darkness and unsettling silence. The only light source was their headlamps, casting stark shadows that danced off the damp, rocky walls of the tunnels. As they ventured deeper, the air became heavy, thick with the musty scent of the earth. And something else, a stench that was distinctly off, triggering an unease that knotted their stomachs. The tunnel walls were a haunting canvas of cryptic symbols etched into the rock. Their rough, scarred surfaces hinted at a history unknown, a story untold. Tom traced his fingers along these etchings, the coldness seeping into his skin. Intermittently, their radios crackled to life, carrying distorted fragments of desperate pleas from the trapped construction workers. The communication was sketchy at best, their voices barely more than frightened whispers echoing in the dark. The faint signal from the trapped crew's transponders was their only guide in the pitch. Black maze. Just as they were gaining ground, a high-pitched scream sliced through the radio static. Freezing their blood, it was cut short, replaced by an eerie silence that hung heavily in the air. A moment later, one of the team members was missing. Then another. And another. The echo of their screams seemed to ripple through the labyrinth, a chilling reminder of the unseen horror lurking in the shadows. Tom could only stand there, heart hammering his chest, as the reality of their situation bore down on them. The loss of their teammates injected a raw fear into the group. A profound silence ensued, interrupted only by the echoes of their quickening breaths and pounding hearts. Their radio communications with the outside world became a lifeline, the only proof they hadn't yet been consumed by the darkness. Tom tried to maintain order among the remaining members, his voice calm over the radio, despite the chaos erupting within him. He spurred the group onward, reminding them of their mission, despite the fear gnawing at his own resolve. The true horror manifested itself when they stumbled upon a humanoid creature, hunched in a dark corner of the tunnel. Its skin was eerily pallid, stretched over grotesque muscles. It turned toward them, revealing sightless eyes and a mouth filled with gnarled teeth. Its guttural snarl echoed around them, paralyzing the team with fear. A frantic encounter with the creature ensued, the confined space amplifying the chaos. Despite their efforts, the creature managed to snatch another member into the darkness, their screams echoing long after they had vanished. Memories of his younger brother's tragic death came flooding back. The creature before him was a horrifying revelation of what his brother might have encountered in his final moments. The thought fueled his resolve. He made a silent vow. Then and there he would not allow this underground nightmare to claim any more lives. With renewed determination, Tom pushed his team onward. They stumbled upon the remaining construction workers, huddled together, their faces etched with a mix of terror and relief. Tom quickly briefed them on the situation, his voice steady despite the chaos they'd left behind. The escape plan was daring and dangerous. Relying on his military training and knowledge of cave systems, Tom formulated a plan to use the labyrinthine nature of the tunnels to their advantage. They would set off controlled explosions to distract and mislead the creatures, buying them time to escape. Moving as quietly as they could, they set their plan in motion. Each explosion rocked the tunnel, sending tremors through the ground and causing dust to rain down from the ceiling. The creatures roared in the distance, the sound echoing through the tunnels, a grim reminder of the nightmare they were leaving behind. The escape was a desperate race against time, their pursuers closing in. Every decision Tom made, every turn he chose, was a matter of life and death. Fear was their constant companion, but so was hope, as each step took them closer to the surface. Finally, as the tunnels began to collapse around them, they broke through into the blinding daylight. The sight of the outside world was both surreal and relieving. They had escaped the subterranean hell, but the cost was a heavy one, evident in the empty faces of the surviving team members and the realization that they'd left comrades behind. Emerging from the underground horror felt like a rebirth, their senses overwhelmed by the bright sunlight and the crisp, fresh air. The emergency response team and ambulances were waiting for them, providing immediate medical aid to the survivors. The relief was overwhelming, but it was undercut by a sharp sting of loss and foreboding. The victory felt hollow to Tom as he stood there, his eyes on the collapsed entrance. It was not just the loss of his team members that gnawed at him, but the chilling thought of the hidden danger that lurked beneath the city he called home. As he was about to turn away, his phone buzzed with a new message. He stared at the screen, the words blurring for a moment before snapping into focus. Another construction site had discovered a similar network of tunnels. A cold dread settled in his heart. Looking out over the city skyline, the setting sun casting long shadows between buildings, he realized that beneath the seemingly normal surface of their lives, a lurking horror waited. It was a revelation that forever changed his perspective, turning every construction site, every new excavation into a potential gateway to the unimaginable horror beneath. He knew then that their fight against this hidden enemy was far from over,